If this is your first time here, my name's Tiffany and I'm the International Witch. Today I'm going to be working on the March spread in my bullet journal. Since Ostara is coming up, I thought it'd be really cute to have some Easter themed pages in here. So I hope you'll stick around to the very end. Creating the header page is always my favorite because there's not a lot of information that needs to go on there or writing space, so it's like a little piece of art. I'm going to start out by going through all my outlines with the Pigma Micron 05. I would normally do the major outlines on the outside in 08 and more of a Art Nouveau style. However, my 08 is currently dry and needs to be replaced, so all the major ones today is going to be in 05 or 03 depending on the page. One of my main sources of inspiration is looking at old greeting cards off of Pinterest. They're so cute and there's so many different styles for you to look at. I was really struggling to get this month's Bujo out because I have been diagnosed with both tendinitis and capsulitis in my left shoulder. So I'm going to therapy and trying to move as much as I can, but my left arm is pretty much frozen. So it's going to take some time, but I'm just going to have to do a little bit every day and hopefully that'll work. The quote for this month is, "Our life is March weather, savage and serene in 1 hour." This is by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who I absolutely love his poetry, but I felt that this quote was very fitting for March because March always seems to be like a liminal space and time kind of month. It'll be warm one day and then it'll snow the very next day and then it'll thunderstorm the very next day, so you never really know what you're going to get in March. If you watched February's Bujo planning video, then you probably know that I tried to use markers, but I was not happy with the result. So this month I'm going back to my tried and true watercolors because I feel like I have just more control over them. I can add more shadows and highlights, and if I don't like something, it's easy to fix it. And you're about to see that it's really easy for me to make gradients. I'm doing this darker brown color on the outside and then I'm going to go in with the same yellow and I'm just going to gently pull it in. And once again, the great thing about watercolors is if you don't like how it's turning out, you can get water and pull some of that color back. You'll see on the next two flowers, the brown kind of overwhelmed the center, so I simply dipped my brush back in the water and pulled some of that off, and you'll see me wiping it on my cloth. Oh, and please ignore my hair popping into the video. I just got a new overhead setup and I'm still trying to figure things out, but I keep getting my head in the way, so if you see my hair, just ignore that. And I'm about to do a close-up shot of exactly what I was saying, that when you draw something and you don't like it, you can just wipe it right back off. Now I've dipped my brush in water and I'm just pulling that color back out and diffusing it a little bit more softly so it makes a gradient. Unfortunately, as I was going through and adding all the details and the highlights and lowlights on my flowers, my battery died and I didn't realize it. But I have since purchased some new backup battery packs, so hopefully that won't happen in the future. And here's a close-up of the finished cover page. I love how colorful it came out without being overly pastel or childish looking. Now on to my content and spellwork page. I think it's important for artists to study other art styles and to try to copy them sometimes, because you learn new techniques that otherwise you would never have done on your own. And this is an example of that for me, because these tulips are definitely in a style that I never would have drawn myself, but they were so much fun and I could see myself incorporating this in the future in other artworks. This specific art piece was from the cover of a book published in 1895. And now over to my habit tracker page. I had a lot of fun with this page because I wanted to make it look really Ostara, really Easter. I made the fluffy little chick, but I have to say the pussy willows are extremely difficult for me. But as I mentioned in my other videos, anytime that I need to paint something white, my focus is not necessarily on painting the object white, but making sure there's color all around it. So you'll see later around the pussy willows that I added like a little bit of a shadow and I added background to it to help make that white pop. I'm not going to go too deep into Ostara in this video because I do plan on releasing an Ostara altar video, but I do just want to touch on the fact that it is the equivalent of Easter. It's actually the Germanic holiday that Easter was based off of, but the Wiccan holiday that neo-pagans celebrate today is not necessarily the true holiday because Germanic tribes at that time were handing down their histories orally, so we really don't have an accurate description of what Ostara was except for written accounts by Christians who were visiting. But there are ultimately two ways of saying the spring equinox. When I picture spring in my mind, I picture animals and flowers and color coming back into the world. Even though here in Naples, Italy, we don't see winter like I'm used to in the United States, traditional spring imagery still gives me that hit of nostalgia and it makes me really happy. And here you see me starting on those pussy willows that I was talking about earlier. I'm making sure that I paint the branches, but I'm not actually painting the flowers. Back in the States, whenever it was time for spring, the first flowers I ever saw were daffodils and the little violets that would pop up in the yard. But here in Italy, I'm surrounded by oranges that are still all over the trees, and now some roses are even popping up. What flowers are the first flowers you see in your area when spring comes? I'm kind of looking for inspiration for next month. So I know next month I should probably do something that's Beltana or May Day inspired, but I'm kind of over the pastel colors. I want to do something vibrant and bold. Who knows, maybe I'll do peacocks again or something, or ooh, gold something. I like gold. I'm such a magpie sometimes, but it's like, ooh, shiny. I think this page came out so cute with the little chickie. Now on to the weekly spreads. I wanted the side panels this time to look like you're looking down at a field of clovers with all different colors of greens and shades. I'm also thinking about changing up the way I do my weekly spreads because although this layout does work very well for me, I also kind of getting bored of it, so I'm probably going to be looking around for some other options. This light wash of green is very flat, so you don't see it because my battery died, of course, but I actually go in with another thicker layer of olive green to differentiate what is foreground and background and give it a little bit more depth. I'm wanting to add more definition to these clovers with different gradients and mixtures. So I have a mixture of yellow ochre and olive green, and then just undiluted olive green, and I'm going through and adding a little bit of each color on the clover and then using water to blend them together to give different variations in colors. And now it's time to cut the tabs. Now that the tabs are cut, it's so rewarding to see both sides of the clovers because the colors just seem to pop right off the page. Now it's time to paint the tabs. I pulled colors from other pages because I wanted them to pop off of this green background. I really should have laid something down to protect in between the pages, but I'm lazy and you will see that I regret it very soon. And if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. Now for the final walkthrough. I hope you've enjoyed following along as I made the March spread. But I have to say, I'm looking forward to summer. I want to see some new colors and some more vibrancy. What do you think? What holidays are you looking forward to seeing? As always, I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful month. Love you! Don't forget to like and subscribe for more witchy content or bullet journaling.